Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Last Caretaker. The Last Caretaker. It has been literally 100 videos, and I can't still say the game's name. Good, nice, yeah, masterfully. Just crashed this video before it even started. I'm sorry. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the whole point of this game, at the end of the day, is saving humanity. And how do we save humanity? We save humanity by activating the council, sending babies to space, the seeds, they grow, they become active in the committees, and they give us quests, right? But the thing is, it is not the end of the story. So, like, it has been time and time again, like, I've said this, like, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times by now. There is much more to this game than they are showing us. One of the reasons why a lot of things in the game are not working is not because they are bugged. Or, for example, like Pishon, like Eden platform. The reason why that thing is half, as I said it previously, it's because that thing has missions attached to it. And we don't have all of the missions, or the equipment are not given to us yet. That is why that place is that useless. That is a small version. We will gonna have a medium and a large version as well. And all of them are gonna be probably for oxygen production for ozone. I guess. That's my guess. No, nothing official. Just saying, but that is probably it. And by the way, the game feels much snappier today for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway. So, now the same thing goes for the committees that we have been filling ever since the game started. So, one thing, if you haven't noticed, like, if you go to your committees, like, this is why, like, one of the reasons why I'm saying the committees have other purposes, and this is not even the full scope. I know a lot of you hate making these seeds because you spend so much time going around finding those memories and, getting into the memories, making the baby, sending it to space, and yada yada yada, and so on. But the thing is, this is not even, I think, 20% of the things that we're gonna do with the committees. So, as I said in the previous video, like, we have a Stargate at the top of Lazarus, which is either gonna take us to another map, or which we have seen in another location in the map, or it is maybe a time travel, maybe it takes us to space. But, in my opinion, if this keeps going on, that gate will actually take us to different locations on the map. But at the same time, the same goes for the council. When that place opens, this game has no physical, literally, this game has no physical identifier. So far, I've been to every single corner of this game. Has no identifier that at any point in the game, NPCs or quest givers that are physical will exist in this game. There are no clues about it. The landing, the spacing, how things are made, none of these are actually appropriate for moving, walking, and even standing NPCs. The game just does not have it. But we have a phone that connects us to it, we have an AI that talks to our ear, and the committees are never going to actually be seen in the game. That's what I guess. But they will be active inside the ship, and we will, after a while, be able to actually continuously communicate with the committees, and the committees will actually manage a ship. So at some point, not only this is gonna be a ship management like on sea, we are probably going to manage the, let's say, the starship that is actually carrying the humans and the quality of their life. It's like basically a Fallout shelter if you have played it, but in a space. So this is gonna be it. We're gonna communicate them via this thing, most probably. They're gonna give us continuously quests, and I don't know if you have noticed, but this is another giver. This is tip 2. Why I think this is what will happen. When you send a baby to space, it takes 48 hours for the committee seat to be filled. So, for example, if you have habitat care, or let's say deck operation, if you send a maintenance engineer to space, it will only get there after 48 hours. Age has not been implemented in the game, but distance is. and distance is time. Time is aging. So right now, even though the aging factor and the activity factor of the committees is deactive, it will, yes, it will get activated because day and night cycles and real time is actually being calculated in the game system. That is how I know that aging will become a thing in the future, just because of that, because they already have a timer for managing the distance traveled and for the things that are happening over the course of time. That is number two. How I think that the committees will actually have more things to do and we will have ship management going on and the quality of life on the ship going on, because there is a value system. Yes, so tier, okay, tier is just easy. Like, the things, for example, a maintenance engineer needs much less memories and nutrition to be made. Basic supply are the same, nutrient handler the same, door jammer is like the worst baby possible ever. But they have a value system. So each of these committees, and there is nothing that is given to us for the value system. Even the memories and the rewards that we get for the babies are mostly based on the tier of the baby and the number of the seeds that we are sending. So the value system is another thing that lets me guess that these committees will actually become active in real time, and they will like have something to do that is explained here about the quality of life or about the progress, meta progress that we will have with the communities and the NPCs that are not present in our physical world but are present at the other side and will provide us with either information, lore, or probably missions, continuous missions or request missions in the future. Why request missions? Because some of the quests here are actually repeatable. You can literally take them, and I don't think these are the end of it. Yeah, so even like because of the golden standard thing, this is number 4. Golden standard actually tells us that the committees that we are forming, the humans that we are forming, actually have an effect or will have an effect on how the game's ending or how the game keeps going on. Because look, we have a true-false question here. And if it's true, we have a star child. What is a star child? What it stands for? What can it do to a community? We will see. A star child is not there. All humans are equal. That's there. We have a token. If you remember, the token literally says, because it is human. What happens if we use the token? What happens if we don't use the token? See, like there are already elements inside the game that tells us that our decisions about the game are gonna matter, not on just an engineering and let's say making babies level. They are even gonna matter on what was the result of your decisions about how much life expectancy did you give to the baby. And when it comes to that, the actually aspects, skills, and other things that are baby related is, okay, if they are not going to do anything, if they are just going to be in the committee and give us quests and that's all they have, why do they get sicknesses and mutations? See? Because some of those mutations will actually cause the value of the baby or the job that it does to malfunction, because you have sent a baby that has gigantism, it has telomerase syndrome, and so on and so forth, and maybe malnutrition, extra nutrition. So there's another thing. Why are we getting food, and why do we have this much nutrition? We probably are going to actually feed the space station soon. Yeah, at some point we will be also feeding the space station. Yeah, that is another thing that could connect Pishon and, let's say, gardening and other things to space as well. So it's just gonna be a continuous back and forth. It's not just gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna run around and gather oil and just keep driving my fuel. No, that is so not going to be the thing. And also, I don't know if you have noticed or not, but yeah, the ship runs on diesel. But have you noticed that the ship and power in general in this game is green power? Yeah, so in the future, probably even like choosing between a diesel engine and going full electric, that will actually like do some things to the game too. Like Factorio, let's say. Not like an attack thing, but probably it's gonna affect the environment and how it acts. Because I don't know if you have noticed, but when you use diesel, the ship actually makes much more, let's say, smoke than it normally should. So it literally shows you, yeah, diesel bad, fuel bad, petrol bad. Use solar. You have solar. Your robot is solar friendly. It needs electricity. Make it like that. So those things will matter as well. And they will matter for the population that's going to come. Because at some point we are having diesel. We are using diesel. But at the same time, we are having Platform Eden that is literally just a big garden. Why do you need a garden? Photosynthesis. What does it do? CO2 into oxygen. Or oxygen into space. It breaks down, it forms O3, ozone. There you go, see? Everything is actually connected. But, as I said, we still don't even know 20% of this game. I don't watch YouTube, but I decided one time I'm gonna watch their, let's say, like, patch thing. And one thing that I saw that they were saying, I just watched 2-3 minutes. I didn't want them to spoil anything for me. But one thing that they said is that this is just the beginning, and yeah, from my explanations, I think you can see what I see, and that is why I love this game. Because it really is a passion project. This game, if it is realized, this will be a very, very successful, big award-winning game when it gets released. It's not just getting the attention that it deserves. There are a lot of games that are much below this game, but they're getting too much attention. But well, let's see. Time tells tales, let's say. And let me know in the comment section what do you think about the committees and what do you think about my take on the committees and their future. As always, if it's not time, I hope you sleep like babies. If you sleep like babies. If it's not time, I hope you sleep like babies. I am messing up both my intro and outro. Jesus, I've been doing this for a year now. I should have learned. Too much sugar. Too much sugar and caffeine. I am confused by birth. Sorry, not sorry. It makes me entertaining and fun to watch. Anyways, the confidence. Jesus. Self-realization. Yeah. And if it's daytime, I hope you have a fantastic week ahead of you. See you in the next video, fellas. See you in the next video.